on! What a result for Manchester United. 1-0. It's not often I would celebrate a 1-0 win over Leicester with such atmosphere and excitement, but that is massive for Manchester United today. We needed that win. We know Arsenal are playing Man City, and we know that we will be above them if Man City do win today. But that's not what it's really all about. Those games are massive, and I felt today, like when we were managed by Sir Alex, I think Ollie is doing so much, replicating that so well, because we played really well in the first 10 minutes and we got the goal, but I felt after that, we were a bit not at our best today. The effort was there, but we weren't really at our best. So to come out of it, keep a clean sheet and graft it, I can see why Leicester got a result at Anfield, and I think Leicester will be very disappointed. And if Leicester fans were moaning about their manager, I don't follow Leicester, so I don't know really how it works, but it's... The reality is, if I was a Leicester fan, I'd probably feel a little bit hard done by, but that's football, that's the way it works. As a United fan, we didn't get the result on Tuesday, and we got the result today against Leicester, and it's massive. It's a massive 3 points for us. There's some good and there's some bad. I mean, look, I feel that Manchester United today, defensively, we've solved the problem. Bay and Lindelof were flawless, absolutely flawless. They played so well together. They're going to get better and better together. Bay's pace and Lindelof's reading of the game complements each other so well. You play Bay with Jones, you don't get someone who can read the game. You play Lindelof with Jones, you don't get somebody who's got that recovery pace that Bay's got and the physicality. That works really well. Ashley Young's still a problem. We know that. I thought Luke Shaw started the game very well. And then it comes to a problem that some people probably don't want me to talk about. I mean, there's a lot of people saying it was a crap display. When you win and you play badly, you're a football team. Liverpool were doing that for most of the first 2 months of the season. So winning and playing badly, especially against good teams, that's not like going to Newcastle and winning. That's going to Leicester, who were a good team and they played very well. Leicester were very energetic. They pressed us very, very hard. But the thing for me is that, I just want to say this, was I the only one who noticed that Lukaku was knackered after 5 minutes? I mean, Johnny Evans was getting to passes before Lukaku. Johnny Evans is nearly going to retire and has played 90 minutes against Marcus Rashford, and he's getting to the ball quicker than Lukaku. I don't know whether Lukaku is massively unfit or just doesn't give a shit, but when you come on for Manchester United because Rashford's run his socks off, you run your bloody socks off. You get the ball, you fight, and you run and you run and you run. I don't know whether he just thinks I'm unhappy because I'm not starting. Well, hello, wake up, mate, because this is Manchester United, this is football, and you're not always going to start because your best mate Mourinho isn't here anymore. You've got to graft your way back into this team. And I thought his effort when he came on was shocking. Now, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's either massively overweight and unfit, or he's just not putting the effort in, because that effort from Lukaku in the last 10 minutes was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And he needs to kick up the arse, because we grafted for that game. I saw Paul Pogba, who's been on the pitch for 90 minutes, pick the ball up in his own half, go past 3 or 4 players and win a foul in the stoppage time. Those sort of moves get you over the line. I don't think Lukaku got us over the line. He hindered us, and he did it against Spurs a couple of weeks ago as well. If he's going to come on and get his team placed back, he's got to work hard off the bench, and I didn't see that at all. It wasn't good enough. Andrew Rossi's just made a contribution, actually. He says, if Lukaku doesn't want to play off the bench, there are a lot of youngsters that will. Terrible effort. And Mark G, the ref was bloody awful. Leicester's Mendy committed several fouls after already being booked, but the bold twat never noticed it. I thought we were up against the bad referee today, but you know what? Inject it in my veins. I think that's a good thing. How long is it since we've spoken about referees? You know, under Mourinho, we never mentioned referees because we just accepted we were shit. Today we were getting frustrated with a referee because it mattered. We needed those 3 points. We felt that the graft that we put in, we deserved that 3 points. So yeah, the ref was bad today. He should have sent Mendy off, but we got over the line. We got the 3 points. That's what it's all about. And I thought that you probably struggled to find a good performance for United beyond the 2 centre-backs, because it just didn't quite work for us. It didn't quite flow. I thought the first 10 minutes we were fantastic. The goal from Rashford, though, yes, look, the first few minutes were our best few minutes of the game. Luke Shaw gets it. Apparently Luke Shaw can't cross. Puts in one of the best crosses of the game. Rashford's on the back post, heads it over, he should score. A couple of minutes later, Pogba makes something very hard look very simple. Controls it, dinks it over, takes the whole Leicester back 4 out. Rashford's through, but he's got to control it. Controls it like a magnet and then passes it, shoots it home. That's flawless from Rashford. That's top-class striker from Rashford. He's got to stop closing his eyes from crosses. But the goal was brilliant. It was good enough to win any game, but it was very, very early and we had to graft after that. Absolutely amazing. For people who said, oh, Lukaku would have scored the header and Rashford misses it, well, Lukaku wouldn't have scored Rashford's goal. That first touch would have been up out the Walker Stadium and hitting Saturn. It would have been gone. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from... and it wouldn't... The thing is as well, in all seriousness, Lukaku couldn't have scored that goal. One, because he can't control the ball, but more importantly and more fairly, two, that ball's coming over Rashford's shoulder to his right foot. Pogba can't play that pass to Lukaku because it's coming over his shoulder to Lukaku's right foot. Lukaku's left-footed, so he could never have controlled that ball anyway. So, brilliant, brilliant goal. Good enough to win the game and absolutely ecstatic it did. But where did it go wrong for United after that? Why did we struggle after that? And to be honest with you, I've got to talk about Sanchez, haven't I? I've got to talk about Sanchez. When Martial came on, and boy did we want Martial to come on, United were a better team. Within the first 10 minutes of Martial coming on, we had 2 or 3 really good chances, when in the previous 45 minutes we'd done sod all. We over-confused it today. If I was Ollie and I'm talking to the team on Monday, I would say we got our tactics wrong in that game. We over-confused things. Have I got the whiteboard here? Because it'd be really easy to show you. So that was how we lined up, right? As we always know, I don't know why my pen's not working. That's annoying. Why is my pen not? Oh, I know why. I know why. We need the white pen, and I know what's gone wrong. So watch this. Basically, the thing that we feared obviously happened again, whereby Sanchez forever wanted to come into this area, which prevented Lukaku coming forward. It was a brick wall. And when Martial came on, Martial does this, occupies this area, and Pogba starts going into this area. Lingard did stay in that area, and suddenly we looked a lot better. In the first half, you got Sanchez and Lingard both coming into these areas, not tracking the fullbacks, and Shaw and Lingard ended up with 2v1s. But more importantly, Pogba and Herrera very, very, very rarely broke into the final third because these two were coming in here all the time. All the time. Lingard was as bad as Sanchez. But yet again, what we saw today was that Pogba couldn't get forward because Sanchez wants to come inside. And when Luke Shaw went forward, he couldn't get beyond this position because he's got no left-sided player to do the 1-2s with and work forward. Luke Shaw became redundant. Pogba became redundant and Sanchez was redundant. And it didn't work. And then Martial came on and suddenly Martial hugs the touchline. He wants to work with Shaw. Pogba comes forward and it suddenly works better. And Lingard drifted more to the right. Until Martial came on, we were very confused and it could have cost us the game. Pogba just became basically a CDM. We didn't really see much of Pogba. Sanchez was totally ineffectual. Lingard was moving around all over the place and they bombed forward on the fullbacks and it really, really hurt us. It really hurt us. Simeon Heldon says Sanchez held up Pogba today. Shaw and Bay did a great job. Great goal for Rashford. Pradnia says that we need to give him Pogba as much freedom as we can for him to create chances for goals. Rashford in the post-match interview, spot on by him. Look, we didn't get the best out of our performance today, but I tell you what, I look forward to the Fulham game because the reality is if you can put in a performance like that where we weren't at our best and we still go and beat Leicester, who are a good team away from home, it's a massive 3 points for us. We're up to 5th place. I know Arsenal probably won't beat Man City, so we'll be in 5th place tonight. But more importantly, it wasn't really about getting ahead of Arsenal tonight. This is about being 4th place a week tonight because Chelsea play Man City next week. I reckon Chelsea will lose to Man City. We beat Fulham, we're 4th place. Sit down, PSG, FA Cup, we're in the 4th place position. So massively, massively important. You can say it's about, we're going to go above Arsenal, and that will be nice if Man City win. But really, it's about next week. It's about going to Fulham and winning and Chelsea losing to Man City. And then we're in 4th place, that is like the cherry on the cake of what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has achieved. And it would be wrong of me, I'm going to do the player ratings in a minute, but it would be wrong of me not to talk about Ole here because I thought that at one point the game was drifting a little bit. I thought, is he going to make the substitutions he needs to make? I think he was giving Sanchez every opportunity he could. Let's not forget, Alexis Sanchez is the best paid player in the Premier League. We shouldn't be getting 7 or 8 out of 10 out of him. We should be getting, you're our best player on the pitch every week. And he's so far away from that. And I think Solskjaer wants to be the man to get the best out of Sanchez because why wouldn't you be? but he just can't get it. And there was a brilliant comment in the watch-along that I think everyone needs to consider with Sanchez. When you look at the teams that Sanchez has been successful in recently, Barcelona and Arsenal, they're not fast attacking teams. They build up the play. There's a lot of movement. It's all about interchanging, passing, cutting inside, patience. Sanchez actually probably doesn't suit our system because he's not a 100-mile-an-hour, quick, one-touch move player. It's all about the build-up play, and we're not really that sort of team. So maybe he just doesn't suit us anyway. Sal Young says, I feel Matic and Bailly were superb. Matic, man of the match. Lukaku was good when he was subbed on. Created chances too. Got a shot too. Each to their own. I thought, well, yeah, each to their own. Each to their own, yeah. I thought Lukaku was a disgrace. An absolute disgrace. I know he got a shot away, but his effort was terrible. We got Alexi on a free. Get rid in the summer. Let someone else pay stupid wages, says Lee Ballington. We didn't get Alexi Sanchez on a free. We gave them Mkhitaryan for him. We didn't get him on a free. Whatever Mkhitaryan's worth we got for him, and that's probably about 30 million, so we didn't get him on a free. How about Lingard today, says Dr. Mohammed. Well, let's go through the player ratings, because then you can sort of give each player your mark, and you can see who got my man of the match. I'm going to give De Gea a 7. I'll give him a 7 because he did make 2 very, very good saves. The overhead kick from Vardy, the free kick. He was tested today, so I'd give him a 7. Ashley Young, I'll give him a 4. I thought he was poor today. I think part of that was to do with Lingard not tracking back, but I would give him a 4. Lindelof, 8. Got to be an 8 for him. And Bay, 8 for the pair of them. I thought they complemented each other very, very well. I thought the pace of Bay and the reading of the game of Lindelof, they did very, very well. You're always going to give a striker a chance, and Vardy got a chance, but in the main, they did very, very well. Luke Shaw, I'm going to give him an 8. I know some people would say maybe a 7, but I thought Luke Shaw was in a situation like Young, but he dealt with it better. Luke Shaw was 2v1 a lot of the time and didn't get exposed. He was very, very good positionally. He was very strong. He going forward when he could, he looked much better than Young did. So I thought Luke Shaw was really good. I'll give Matic a 7. I don't think Matic was man of the match. I thought Matic had a good game, and 7 is, 6 is average, so he's way better than average. But I felt that he had a bad start to the second half. He was a bit lazy, but overall a very good performance. Same from Herrera, good performance. Same from Pogba. I wouldn't be giving Pogba man of the match. I thought Pogba was very, very quiet in the game because of Alexi Sanchez, but the assist was superb. And when Sanchez came off, he was superb. But he did go a little bit quiet for about an hour after the goal and before the substitution of Sanchez. Sanchez, I'll probably give him a generous 5. You could go as low as 4. He was very, very poor for us today. Rashford, 7 for the goal. He had to work very hard today. Not a lot went his way, but for the goal itself, you could even give him an 8, but I'll give him a 7 because I don't want him to be man of the match. And I would give Lingard a 5. I think you've got to be honest and give Lingard a 5. He kept working, he worked hard. It was just one of those days for Lingard. I don't think you could say it was even an average performance. He just a bad day at the office for Lingard. Sometimes you've got to be honest with the players that you like. I do like Lingard. It was just a bad day at the office. But he kept working hard. He gets what the shirt's all about. And I think some people don't work hard. And I think they don't get what the shirt's all about. My man of the match, well, from that, I've got to give it to Shaw, Bailly or Lindelof. And I'm probably going to give it to Eric Bailly because I think Eric Bailly coming into such an important game, didn't play against Burnley in the week. Lots of pressure. He had a chance a month ago. He got himself sent off and then he had to sit on the sideline for 3 games. Coming into a big game like that, a must-win game for Manchester United, it would be easy to give it to Lindelof. It would be easy to give it to Luke Shaw. But I'm going to give it to Eric Bailly because effectively it's like a new chance for him. I thought he was brilliant against Arsenal in the FA Cup with Lindelof, and I think he was brilliant again tonight. So really, really pleased with that performance. And as Wilf says, I'm so glad Phil Jones didn't throw the game away. I actually quite liked the substitution of bringing Phil Jones on for Lingard at the end because it gave us that defensive platform. But I think Eric Bailly will now play at the back, and I think that's the best thing for Manchester United is that out of that performance, that Eric Bailly will now be our centre-back with Lindelof. And that means less sleepless nights, doesn't it? Less concern, less problems for Manchester United. Because now we've got Eric Bailly there. So absolutely ecstatic with that. Really, really pleased. And I hope that going forward, that's what's going to happen for us. Because such a very important player for Manchester United, and such a massive performance for us. A massive 3 points, an absolutely massive 3 points. And I know a lot. Look, The Burnley game, we didn't react badly, did we? We didn't react badly to the Burnley game, even though we should have won it. And I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves for today's game. So to go and get that result and win, you saw my celebration on the watch-along. You saw my start here. Sometimes it's not about the actual performance. It's about the scoreline. And winning that game, to me, today, was absolutely sensational. Ed Woodward says, who needs good football when we have world-class sponsors like Cola and Chivas? Good football is for clubs stuck in the past. I'm building for the future. You're a little piss taker, but if you want to make contributions, that's up to you. Sanchez needs to improve, says Amadou Cisse. I don't want this to turn into some Sanchez show, because that's not what this is all about. Sanchez can play like that every week for me, as long as we get 3 points at the end. But I think at some point, because there are still a lot of United fans who hope that Sanchez is going to turn good, and I do. But at some point, I think we've got to wake up and smell the coffee. And the reality is, he is the best played player in the Premier League. He's not a starter for United. He's getting subbed off after an hour when he does start. He's the best paid player in the Premier League. He's played more than Eden Hazard. He's played more than De Bruyne. He's played more than Mo Salah. He's played more than Paul Pogba, more than David De Gea, more than Marcus Rashford, more than Ander Herrera, more than Victor Lindelof. And all these players are streets ahead of him. He is the best paid player in the Premier League. He has been here over a year, and he has in no way started to even indent the amount of money that we've put into him. He looks absolutely lost in a United shirt. And more importantly, I don't want to pick on Sanchez, but more importantly, if we move away from Sanchez, he confuses the life out of everybody around him. He doesn't just play badly himself, he affects everybody else. Luke Shaw doesn't play as well as he can do. Paul Pogba doesn't play as well as he can do. And Herrera doesn't play as well as he can do. Lingard and Rashford don't play as well as they can do. If it was just his performances that were bad, you'd deal with it. But he drags everybody else's performances down. And to be honest with you, a lot of the players around him didn't play particularly well today. If I was Ollie, I would make an example of Lukaku and replace him with Greenwood, says Robert Moore. Someone who has the hunger to play for Manchester United. Well, I think Lukaku would probably be a little bit divisive, wouldn't he? But look, everybody, let's spin the positive for a moment. Man City beat Arsenal today, and I think any United fan will want Man City to win today, because it's about us being in fifth, but it's also about maybe Man City can stop Liverpool winning a title. And then we want them to beat Chelsea next week. If we beat Fulham next week, we'll be fourth. I'm pretty sure that Man City will beat Chelsea and Arsenal. And we beat Fulham next week, and Fulham are crap. We go to Fulham next week, we are fourth. That is immense. To be sixth, but 11 points off fourth place in the middle of December. And for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, let's not forget, on top of that as well, what is it now? 10 games unbeaten, 9 wins, 1 draw. Fulham, if we win that, we're in fourth place. What a turnaround. With no investment, with no transfers coming in, the same set of players, he's doing it. But let me just put up a word of warning as well. I tell you what, I had a few nervous moments in that game. Pogba had a couple of tackles. You thought, God, we can't lose him for a month. Rashford went down for a bit. We can't lose him for a month. Lingard pulled up for a moment. We can't lose him for a month. We're threadbare. We are threadbare, because if we lose Martial or Rashford or Lingard, you've got to rely on Sanchez and Lukaku. If you lose Pogba, you've got to rely on Fred and Pereira, who, even today, again, Solskjaer did not want to bring Fred on. That midfield, at times, Herrera, Pogba and Matic, they must have been knackered. He wasn't going to freshen them up, because he doesn't trust what's on the bench. So we are very much a side that's, we've got our best 11, but we need to get lucky with injuries and fatigue. A few people talking about Alexis Sanchez to China. That might be the solution. Because someone's got to pay his wages. But I just don't see. I think he can offer us something, but I don't think he's ever going to offer us what we paid for, which is the best player in the Premier League. And I think we forget that sometimes. I think we really do. Chilwell was brilliant. If he was a right back, we'd be sorted, Bills fan. I think Chilwell is a very impressive player for Man City. For maybe will end up at Man City for Leicester. But I like Luke Shaw. I don't know why Luke Shaw gets the stick that he does. I really don't. I think that cross today shows that he can cross. I think his speed and his stamina are brilliant. He's physical, he's positionally sound, he's good on the ball. I think just stick with Luke Shaw and he'll get better and better and better. He's not the complete article there. But Ashley Young is a problem. Ashley Young is a problem. And I wonder if we'll get to a point where maybe he'll start experimenting with Dalot, because I don't know why Ashley Young wears that armband. I really don't. He's not a leader. He's not a captain, and he's probably one of the weakest positions in our team because every team goes down that side to try and get at him. But I don't really care about that. What I care about now is feet up. Hopefully Man City beat Arsenal. We go to 5th. We take the piss out of Arsenal all evening. We enjoy the fan cams and we enjoy the evening. That's what it's all about, really, isn't it? So please do drop a like on the video. Absolutely made up with that result today. It was about the result today. It was about 3 points today. I don't think anyone predicted a 1-0 win. I think we were all going like 3-1, 2-1. We certainly expected a goal to go in. I mean, they had their chance to score. They probably had more chances than us. But, maybe Leicester felt they deserved a draw. But we got the 3 points. Absolutely brilliant. And Herrera was fantastic today as well. Doesn't surprise me, doesn't surprise you. But he makes such a difference. But it's no coincidence to me that when Sanchez came off and Martial came on, everyone knew what their role was again. Herrera started bombing forward. Pogba stepped forward. Lingard went to the right more. Martial hugged the touchline, and we were a better team for it. And I think that's our best team. Martial on the left, Rashford and Lingard. And I think Ollie knows that. The reality is, for anyone who's moaning about Sanchez, the reality is Martial wasn't fit enough to start today. That's why Sanchez played. But yet again, like against Burnley, we saw that the backup players, they're just not good enough. And that's what we need to look at in the summer. But for now, we need to get over the line. Thanks everyone for watching. Please do drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Fan cams are going to be coming in very soon. I think they're going to be very interesting because that's a massive 3 points for United. Speak to you all later. Thanks for watching.